Hello guys, I hope you guys are doing well. So as you can see, I'm in my car, so I'm changing the settings a little bit because this week was pretty crazy. I had a lot of things to do, and to be honest, I was a little bit behind on my reading. So even when I had like a bit of free time, I wanted to catch up on my reading because I don't know if you guys know, but I'm participating in a Harry Potter Cup of the Four Houses reading challenge. So basically we're split between the four houses, so as you know, Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw and Slytherin. I'm a Slytherin obviously, because I love that house. I don't know, the mystery about it. I feel like people try to villainize that house a lot, but there weren't only bad people in Slytherin. And when you think about it, even Draco Malfoy had like a redemption arc in the very last books. So I feel like we should see past the fact that Voldemort was once in that house, and that also Salazar Slytherin, and think only about the bad aspects. So yeah, I'm justifying my choice, even though I stand 10 toes by it that it's the best house. If it wasn't for Slytherin, I think I would have chosen Ravenclaw because I love what the house means and their values and principles. So yeah, first I would like to know, guys, which is your favorite house. And yeah, so we're participating in this contest. So basically we have to read the most books, and you have bonuses. For example, let's say if a book is in original version, if a book is more than I think 500 or 600 pages, if a book was in your TBR for more than 6 months, so you get a lot of bonuses points, which is nice, because the cup is determined on points, obviously a little bit like in the movie and in the books. And it's nice because as part of the contest we can also do common readings. I don't know how to translate that, but basically we read a book at the same time. So we have a certain amount of chapters to read per day, so that by the end of that certain period we finish the book as a collective. Because in that challenge, what is nice is that you read on your own, but you can also gain points as a whole house. There's some games that we do on Instagram, and there's also the common reading. I don't want to call it common readings, let's say it's more group reading. Yeah, group reading. So I'm participating in one for the third book of Harry Potter. So it's Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, I think, the English translation. And if I'm not correct, please let me know. So yeah, I'm participating in that, and it allowed me to go back to Harry Potter because obviously before going to the third book I wanted to make sure that I read the first and the second book. It's crazy how different the books are from the movies, because I've been watching the movies over and over again for the past, I don't know, 10 years. I'm a huge fan of Harry Potter. I think I told you guys that for me it's a Christmas movie. I know it has nothing to do with Christmas, but to me I always remember that one scene in the first movie and in the first book where Harry spends his first Christmas at Hogwarts and is with Ron, and I don't know, it's my favorite part of the movie because he's finally feeling loved again, he's finally feeling seen again, and he has the Weasley as his new family. So I don't know, I always associated Harry Potter to watching it during the Christmas time, during the winter time, so it became a Christmas movie to me. Yeah, so I love the movies, but the differences and the things that they switched up in the movie compared to the books is crazy. Because for example, I was talking about it with the girl from the group readings, and we're thinking about how little of a character development Ron got in the movie compared to the book. Because in the books he was more of a firm character, he has his own personality, he was less of Harry's sidekick, and he really, you know, comes from a family where he's like the last son, and he had to live in the shadow of his brother his whole life. All of them were a little bit good at something. So you had Charlie and Bill, we don't really know much about them, but from what I heard, one of them was a prefect. So yeah, so one of them had the academics on his side, and I think Charlie has always been athletic, figuring that he's working with dragons and is really brave, so you have that. And then you have George and Fred, who are really, you know, adventurous and inventive because they came up with their own line of, you know, tricks, magical tricks to sell. And then you have Percy, and I think Percy is older than Fred and George, but I just forgot about him because, to be honest, he's one of my least favorite character and least favorite members of the Weasley family. So you have Percy, who is more also into the academics and, you know, playing by the rules. And yeah, then there's Ron, and when he finally gets a clique of his own, a friend of his own, Harry and Hermione, you have Hermione, who has the brain, and Harry is the hero and always the one that people are going after, and he has more money than him. So people didn't realize that Ron was living so much in his shadow, and I think this is what boils up to the fight that they had in the 4th book. Because if you guys remember, for the amount of time that Harry was participating in the three school tournament, he wasn't in agreement with Ron, and Ron wasn't speaking to him, and a lot of his friends were not, because they were thinking, how did you manage to, you know, fool the enchanted cup and put your name in it and be able to participate? So Ron was like, why would you want to shine again when you're always the one shine? I feel like Ron, in a sense, didn't get the character development he deserved in the movie compared to the book, where they really explored not only his character as his own, but also his relationship with Hermione, and it's more explained, and you can already see the tension even going back to their 3rd year at school, and you can tell that there's something more between them than friendship. So there's definitely something more between her and Ron, and you can tell that she doesn't treat him like a brother like she treats Harry. So yeah, all of those points were, I think, overlooked a little bit, because from what I remember, I need to go back and watch the movie, but I feel like their relationship almost happened out of the blue. So this is the next day, because yesterday I arrived to the dance class before I could finish my thoughts. So as I was saying, I feel like in Harry Potter and in any books that really is made into a movie, they lose sometimes the character, the essence of some of the character. I'm not gonna say all of them, but I feel like, for example, for Hermione, Ron, and Harry, they had so much growth in the book, and they had so much character development because they changed as they grew up, because we literally saw them blossom from kids to teenager and then adults, and I feel like the book didn't express that enough. So I think that's too bad, because the movie, sorry, so I feel like the movie didn't express that enough, and that's too bad, because it was one of the aspects that I love. One of the examples that I have is the relationship between Harry and Ginny, and I feel like if you pay attention in the books, it was developed to the point that it made more sense. We saw, you know, Harry being jealous of Dean when he was in a relationship with Ginny, which I feel like the movie only brushed off and didn't express enough. So yeah, a lot of stuff like that happened, and I feel like disconnected the viewers from the movies, from the characters, because I feel like if you read the book, you're gonna get way more insight about them, especially, for example, Lord Voldemort, Tom Chittister. They really explain his villain arc, in a sense, like what brought him to darkness and to being the, you know, the Lord of darkness. And yeah, so in general, that's what I wanted to say. I feel like I love when we have a film adaptation, especially for magnificent stories like Dune. I don't know if you guys like it. That movie is just wonderful, so I can't wait to read the book. Because now what I do, if I discover series later and the book is already made into a movie, I try to watch the movie first, so that I won't, for example, have expectation for the casting. I won't be disappointed in the characters, and I can imagine and put into my imagination the images that I see in the movie, you know. I don't know if that makes sense, but for example, I was so grateful that I read Lord of the Ring after I saw the movie, so I knew how to picture an orc, an elf, and all of the creatures. And same thing for Dune, I'm gonna read it now. But yeah, and in general, that challenge, just that I can wrap my thoughts, is really nice, because it's bringing me back to so many books that I read back then. For example, 1984 by George Orwell. I really enjoyed that book back then, but I didn't understand it as I understand it now with my adult view and my adult mindset. And even rereading Harry Potter, I'm like, oh my god, was it always this, you know, childlike and innocent? Because some of the points that they're describing, I'm like, you can tell that the book was written for kids. And what I love about J.K. Rowling is that I feel like we grew up as readers and viewers at the same time as the character, because when you read the last book, it's way more mature, it's way more grown up. So you start from the first one, who's really magical, really fairy-like, and if you look at the imagery from the movies, you can see it even then, that you will see that the first movies were more for the color palette, really warm tone and really, you know, welcoming and really fairy tale like. And the last movie was really dark, you know, more like a green hue, like a blue hue. I don't know if you guys can see what I mean. And yeah, so I feel it's really nice when you see a movie develop. But yeah, to conclude my thoughts, I'm really grateful for that challenge, you know, more unexpected books, because I had to match them to a category to be sure that I can validate it for points. So I had to really, you know, wrap my mind around the fact that some of the books I wouldn't have put them on my TBR as of now, but I had to do it for the challenge. So it's really nice. I'm revisiting so many stories that I love from my past and from my childhood, and so it's been, you know, bittersweet. So yeah, I will let you guys know when the challenge is over, if we won the cup, how it went. And yeah, sorry, the video today is a little bit all over the place and it's a vlog in 2 days, but I'm doing a dance workshop this weekend. I'll try to insert some clips, and yeah, it's taking me a lot of time, and it's one of the things that I love doing these days. It's dancing until I go back to work and I don't have time anymore. So yeah, that's why this video is not really a sit down video at my house. It's a vlog. It's me going around and driving around Luxembourg, as you can see, so I'm not really looking you guys in the eyes like I do usually, because I have to focus on my driving. And sorry, the angle might shift between the videos because my phone sometimes would drop, so I would have to put it back on my dashboard. So yeah, now I'm holding it because I'm driving really slow, so I can't afford to do that. But when I was on the highway, I couldn't, so sometimes it would fall and I was in the middle of a sentence or saying something interesting. So yeah, sorry if this video, the format is not the best, but yeah, I also wanted something natural, you know, that I wouldn't have to set up, put my lights, sit down in my room, have it all tidy up, because I hate when you have a background that is not. So I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys had fun watching this video, and I hope I will see you next week.